Okay, just gonna wait until the auto hosting stops before we get started. Man, my desk is a mess. Okay, looks like we have exited host mode, so you're good to go, I think. Before we get started today, I just want to say welcome back to everyone. We're kind of embarked on our new weekly schedule thing rather than doing the every weekday bit. It's a little slower going and everything, but I think it's best that we start off small for now. I will warn, I'm still coughing a bit, so I apologize in advance if I start choking up. But it's getting better slowly. It's a little worse when I talk a lot, which I'll probably be doing today, but we're going to try and keep it to a minimum. I do want to mention that there is maintenance today. A little warm here. It's to start at 4 a.m. PDT, 1 p.m. CEST. So for anyone that happens to catch us a little bit later than usual today, it has changed. Our time has changed to summertime. So we had to, I don't know if the hour went backwards or forwards, I don't know. I just know it feels a little early to me. Hey Bones, good morning. How was your trip? Anyway, it's supposed to last about 4 hours, so it's a kind of a doozy this week. So if you want to get some playtime in before that hits, feel free to skip over this and you can catch it on YouTube later. Because as I said, we upload everything that we stream from here. We archive it on the YouTube channel. Secondly, something I don't want to forget is last week I mentioned that Blades from the forum was looking for some museum artwork for their museum plot. This is on NA side, but even if you're on EU, if you can reach out to them, give them the KBT code and all of that kind of stuff, you can still get your artwork displayed. So it really doesn't matter faction-wise or region-wise, I don't think, as long as you have some way of contacting them and working out a deal. But I've added a new section on the Twitch channel page. It's called Builders Wanted. And it may not be something that I always have something there, but at the moment I have a couple of things, and Blades' request is one of them. I've put in links either to be able to contact them directly or to, like in Sarah Blades' place, I put a link to the actual forum thread where they discuss all of the details. But for Blades' request in specific, they're looking for artwork pieces that are 50 items or less. If it requires, like say you use a very rare or uncommon item in the build, you'd have to work out details with Blades about how to get a hold of it or provide it for them or otherwise compensate them for it. But those details you work out with Blades themselves. But in the thread, they give you character names, and I think they even put in a Discord contact if you want to reach out to them through that. So take a look at that if you think you might be interested or know of someone that's interested, and then you can work out the details with them. I had actually originally intended to do a CBDC in conjunction with them for that, but since we've kind of canceled those for the time being, I figured this was the best way to go about it, especially since they are currently looking for artwork to fill up the museum. The other one is from Maximus Grammicus. You guys might have remember him from previous streams that he did pretty regularly. He took a hiatus from WildStar for a while, but he is back, and he's looking to get his plot remodeled. So this is Blades is on NA side, but so is Maximus. So if you are a builder on NA side and are looking for a commission type of job, Max says he's willing to offer up some plat for it. The way he described it was something about he wants like something out of corpses or something like the roans and things, and he didn't get into too much more detail. Just wanted to know if I would like get the word out that he was on the prowl for a builder that was willing to remodel his plot. So anyone that thinks they might be interested or would like to know more about what he's looking for to determine if you're willing to take up the job or not. Again, I've left the link. It's mostly just to his Twitch channel page, but you can, direct message him from there and ask the details. He didn't give specifics as far as how much plat. I assume it's probably to uh, pay for whatever you might spend, but probably a little extra for your hours of labor or whatever. But yeah, so that's two things. If you're looking for some extra kind of building work or just want to try something different, those two things might be something you might be interested in. So they are there for you. Again, it's a new section on the Twitch channel page for mine called Builders Wanted. So if you know of someone else that's looking for something like that, or you yourself are looking for someone to, maybe you want to do a collaborative work or something, feel free to hit me up with the request and I will see about adding it. Um, it's just my way of trying to help get the word out that people are looking for certain things. Probably a more efficient way of doing that, though, is to actually either give shout outs in the what do you call it, the zone chat, or post something in the forums. I've seen several people do that, and they seem to get some good responses on requests that they have there. It's just a lot of builders, a lot of players, period, don't frequent the forums or frequent Twitter or frequent the chat here. So it's kind of hard to spread the word, but if you hit up a bunch of different ways of getting in touch with people, I'm sure someone will land in your lap after a little while. Good morning, Poi. Glad you could join. And I'm glad you had a nice trip, Bones. Yeah, our time has changed. I figured it would kind of throw some people off, but yeah, we are on summertime now, so it's actually 8 o'clock in the morning for me, just a little bit over. I guess for those that are also going to be changing time, maybe it's a week or so. I think those in the States are like a week off from us. Either they have their time changed a week before or it's a week after, I can't remember. And then I think there's some places that don't even have their time changed, so it's really confusing. And I always hate it when it does it because it gets me a little confused. But yeah, so if your time stays the same or if it hasn't changed yet, just be aware that from here on, at least until the next shift of it, we are a little bit earlier for some. Okay, so again, just a reminder, Builders Wanted, it's a new section on the Twitch channel page, and then of course the maintenance is later today. It's going to last about 4 hours, so be prepared. So the first house we're going to take a look at today, and we're on Jabbit, for those that aren't looking at the title and everything. Last week we took a look at a few entity homes, and today we're going to go for Jabbit side. This is the Cricket Cog by Ruli Imberglade. I think that's how you say it, Ruli, or Rully. I think Ruli sounds better, but this is an RP plot from what I gather. So let me switch her speed down. So right off the bat, you kind of feel like you're in a uh, not necessarily sewers kind of thing, but almost kind of, because you see the tunnels here, so it feels like you're kind of maybe underground, um, and it's a little overgrown with the overgrowth and everything. But you can see there's three separate pipes. The one on the left is actually closed off with the grating, and then you have the option of going through the main path or the one on the right. We're going to go for the one on the right, I think. Now, if I remember rightly, this one isn't too mazy feeling, because a lot of the tunnels that you come across are blocked off like this. But it gives you hints that there's actually more going on than just your usual. I mean, you can see this looks like a bedroom here. The grading that they're using, I'm pretty sure it's the one from the hanging net, just because it's slightly curved. You can kind of see it there. I don't know if it's just an illusion because of the curvature of the tube, and it's kind of tricking my eye a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because it looks more like rope to me than metal. But for those that don't want to use the Marauder netting shelf, you could also go for the Osun graded panel that you get from Arctera. I think that's the name. Gosh, it's been so long since I've been really playing regularly, I'm forgetting everything. Hey Faye, good morning. So here we come across a little section. They've actually, what it is the uh, hot springs fab kit, and they've built around it. So you've got like this little overlook here. You can see they even have some waterfalls coming down to supposedly supply the little river that's back here. And you can see that they've added things. They've got candles in here, fruit bowls, little bits where people can sit comfortably. Those aren't actually in the fab kit. It's one of the fun things about the not only the uh, well, most of the fab kits I think are that way, that you can either add things to it, cover it up, and it kind of individualizes it better rather than just leaving it untouched. In the beginning, that wasn't so much the case because a lot of the fab kits came with those awful boundaries and kind of restricted what you could put close to them. But at least for sure the cosmetic type, like the pools and the garden and hedges and things like that, you can really kind of have some fun with them. Again, using the winding rivers for this part and then the waterfalls for the water source up above. They even have a little seating area up above in the tree here. Little swing. We've seen the swings before, but it's always cute to see where people put them. This one's just above the water. And I think this is the changing area where you would change into your skivvies or non-skivvies, I don't know. And then a little barbecue place for those that are done soaking in the hot water and want to have a little bite to eat. Place to relax, really. So this leads you straight up to the bunker house. But you can see it leads off other parts. Almost, again, it's kind of like a hobo-ish, I don't know, homeless kind of feel with all of the scattered bits and just kind of little, like this little box being used as a house kind of thing. It has that feel to it, but it's not as dark and danky as some of those that we've come across that have it a little bit, it doesn't look as comfortable. in other places. This one is more cozy. So this is the bunker house, and I take this to be more like the bar area where everybody congregates. Those that are from above, they come downstairs for a little bit of entertainment. You've got the little dancing stage here. They're using the sparking wire as the little pole here. Again, remember that is completely without collision. I can stand right inside the pole, which is a little weird. The only way you can avoid that is if you were to put something inside it, like a 2x4 that's maybe really tiny, and that will give you the collision that you might be looking for to make sure no one actually passes through it. That's especially important if you're using the sparking wire for like prison bars or something like that. And the hanging chains behave the same way. They have absolutely no collision. They look great for like railing on a catwalk or something, but you can just flip right off right through them. I like this little bar thing. I'm not sure why it just has that. You could make this like a little soup booth, a ticket booth, a little gaming booth for like a carnival or something. But I like the construction of it. It's pretty simple. It's just the netting shelf that they were using for the closed off tunnels. You can see that here. And then they've got a couple of the other metal shelves on either end, box it off. Ah, my camera keeps flipping. And then the front is a couple of metal planks. They even have some travel posters for the countertop here, and then the sides look to be oversized tablet computers. Simple, but it looks nice. I like it anyway. I can picture it being used in many different ways. A small kitchenette with and be like a breakfast bar kind of thing. More lounging areas in the upstairs. Excuse me. I like the little tiki bar seat here. Looks like a really casual lounger. Nice idea. Um, they've just managed to avoid having it look a little odd because the bump that's usually here, they've just pushed it down into the floor. It looks like a little rocker thing. A nice use of an item that you normally wouldn't think of as a seating type of thing. Over before I spill it. Bathroom. The mirror is just a travel poster, it looks like, facing to the back, and then a picture, one of the tree portrait or something. But just think about all the pieces that they've put in here, even the grass and the notes and everything, just to kind of make it look, again, it's lived in, cluttery, but not too crowded. It doesn't feel stuffed. You get a glimpse of downstairs. That's the entrance that we come in. There's the office. Again, they stuck with the tunneling bit like they did outside. Here's a little bedroom, and then it opens out into a little private garden reading nook kind of thing. Notice they're using the couch, but it's sunk down, so it makes it look like oversized pillows. Perfect for the Orin that wants some greenery in a otherwise non-green place. That's where we come in. That one's blocked off. Another bedroom here. So I think that's all of the bunker area. Back upstairs. This is where we come through the first open space. Let's follow the tunnel this way. I admire those that can get all these connecty type of places. I would be so confused as to try and figure out how to get that to work nicely. Now notice I come through this one. This one they had the fencing just a little open so you can still pass through. Notice they're using the gear lamps as doors for the hatches. They did the same thing with the bunker house, used it as like the hatch just to make it a little different. So up here you see there's several pathways. This one's completely open, this one's partially open, and these two are completely closed off. And so here we have some additional bedrooms. So it's like, everybody's got their little spot. Again, for a role-playing plot, I wouldn't doubt that maybe they've, for either their guild or friends or their role play troupe, they've assigned certain rooms for certain people and probably decorated it to their um, personalities. I know some that have done that in the past that I've uh, known on like Jabbit and stuff. Um, there's always like some little details that are specific to them and they know the story behind them, but there might be a reason why there's a pirate pillow, for instance, in this one, that they had to have some kind of item with a pirate kind of thing in it. Maybe they are a pirate or something, but it'll be something like that. Like there was one that always had to have the judge's hat, because that's part of his actual costume, and so he wanted to make sure that any role play house or living space that he supposedly was a part of always had to have the judge's hat. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. It's a little creepy looking. Like an alien with a stake for his forehead. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. A little creepy though. I'm sure there's a story behind it, but it's a little creepy. It looks like it's made out of swirly stones, so whatever it's supposed to be. Now we're back down to the hatch house again. So let's go back to the front. And we'll go. Okay, that one's closed off. This one, if you're not familiar with this particular drooping cable, I think it's called loose wires. kind of a rarer item. Don't see it too often. Usually it's the really fat cable or the hanging or drooping cable, the single bits. But that's the loose wires, I think, is the name of that particular item. Lots of tunnels. Okay, is this the same place that we went to before? Yeah, I think it is. I don't know. Getting lost in here. It's starting to look all the same. Oh, is that where it comes from? That's probably why I don't know, because I don't normally do the expeditions. So it comes from the Mayday one. Is that the one with the little helicopter that you ride? Okay. Thank you for the info. Okay, I'm a little lost here now. Okay, so I think that's it. I apologize in advance if I missed any little hidden little nook or cranny. There's bound to be, because like I'm not sure if I can like get up to the above. I don't think so. I think that's just the dome. But pardon me. It's one thing it's not that I hate about them, but it makes me uncomfortable because when I come across one of these types of plots that has a lot of um, tunnels or lots of doorways and stuff, I'm always afraid I'm gonna miss something. Like here, yes, it's not open up there. I guess it's okay, but see, like this, that little part there, is that supposed to be? Feel like I'm missing something up there, but I don't know how to get to it. But if you decide to visit this particular plot in person, that could be your quest. Try and figure out how to get to it. Okay, so that was really Everglades. The other one we're going to visit today is one that I've held on to for quite some time, with the hope that they would finish the bunker. But unfortunately, that hasn't happened, and time that I go ahead and get this one off my list for now. But it's called Gas and Diner. It's by Fiora Bennett. It's probably one of my faves. I think it's just because it's, I don't know, it's kind of like old-fashioned meets space age kind of thing, because it's like a diner and everything. But the bunker house, I think, was they were intending to make some kind of a underground casino type of deal, just based on some of the pieces that are down there. But there's really nothing solid built down below, so we're not going to go there. Um, but uh, maybe this, maybe if they happen to see that we've toured the place, or a friend of theirs does, it will encourage them to finish it off. I've had that happen a few times where people go, "Oh, you showed my plot, and now I'm in the mood to finish it up," and we'll retour it, which I'm always happy to do. But I love the little idea behind all of this, so I've had it on my list again for months, literally, maybe even longer than a few months. But uh, even though it's not accurately to be said as being finished, because clearly the bunker house is incomplete. But you can see they've used some of the Insta Hills. Again, this is a situation where they had to decide, do they want to leave the clutter of the ground on, and then have it clearly visible that there's none on the little hills. Or, as they've done here, they've switched off the um, the uh, the clutter and added their own. So they have patches of grass and bits of weeds and stuff where they want it, um, including on the hills, and it looks more natural than to having full-on clutter everywhere except on the hills. It looks really odd when that's done that way. So I think a lot of builders tend to turn it off. That and the fact that they did use um, large plates of Chua floors. Typically, when you have the clutter turned on, the grasses are tall enough that they will go straight through most of the flooring if you have it nice and level with the surface. So that's another thing, another reason they probably turned it off. Yeah, I know I've had it on my list for ages. That's true of many homes, and I try to wait to give the builder time to build, finish up whatever they're doing, but it just gets to a point where it's nice enough I want to show, even if it's incomplete. So yeah, I knew it's been a long time, but I didn't know how long. But well, last summer, that's been a while, so it's great that they left it open if they've left the game, but that it's still visible and visitable for people to enjoy what they've put here, because I'm sure it can inspire other people to make something similar, to improve upon it. So yeah, we have a few fab kits, of course. They've got the wishing well one here. I think this is the garden one. Um, I don't know what is that, shard spire, I think. Or the green floaty, not the green, the blue floaty rocks. My nemesis, because I can't jump worth a flip. Looks like they've got two of, well, no, that one's a biome thing, I guess. It's very open, but it's nice. I mean, I figured this plot could be great for like a transition plot. I don't know if some of you are into the role playing, but for those of you that are, I'm sure you've done it with your troops a time or two where you have several plots lined up that it's not exactly like scripted, but um, maybe you want to start off at your guild headquarters and then you move off to like a transition plot, and then you switch over to one that's got a bar or a hot springs sauna thing going on, or a vacation plot or something like that. This would be a great transition plot to, imagine that you come here with your mounts to gas them up, feed up, your animal ones, grab a bite to eat, and then head off to some other plot for, the rest of the encounter. Because I know those that were in my former guild that were in charge of setting up role-playing excursions, they always kept a list of plots and their themes so that if they were looking for something specific or something generalized like this one, um, they had it on hand so that they could say, okay, we're going to go here for this evening's outing kind of deal. I don't know if there's actually anything in here. There's a gap, so I'm going to go take a look. Looks like they're using the cellar entrance here to make it look like a cave type of deal. The main part of this one is, of course, the diner slash gas station. Um, they're using oversized treadmills. I think that's what these are. So it's probably pretty noisy. I don't have my sound on, so it's not really bothering me, but I guess it's to make it look like maybe you come and get your vehicle or mount or whatever, uh, like an inspection or check it or something. I'm not sure what this is. But over here, I found this part fun. This is a little car wash or mount wash or whatever you want to call it. So it's Chua floors, Chua pillars topped with those graded floor panels. And they're even using those for the ramp part where you ride through. And then topped it with Cassian floors. It's waterfalls for on either end. The portable holograph thing is the long ones, kind of make it look like it's spraying water. And then I think they're using the other portable holographs, the round ones, to give this little animation here for the little ringlets. Almost looks like either water's dripping or something pulling in the bottom. But I like the idea. Over here you have the gas pumps. Again, it's those graded floor panels for the top. Cassian pillars. All of these, they've got them marked pump 1, pump 2, there's 3, 4, 5, and 6. They've got them lit up with the lights. Those are the detonators. It's the little blinky button on top. Again, when you first start installing the detonators, if you're trying to make a sign or something like that with it, when you're first installing them, they will blink out of sync with each other. But once you like leave the plot and come back, they will be blinking in unison. There's no way to like time it or anything, so you can't like have a like uh, landing lights where they kind of blink, you know, like that. No, you can't have that because they'll always blink in unison once you reload the plot. But it's a little awkward. I had trouble with my bakery sign because the lights were blinking and it kind of got a little annoying to look at because they were blinking all weirdly. Um, but just so you know, they will blink in unison no matter what you do, how you're putting them in. Excuse me. You've got the little diner sign here. It's just the beer sign stuck onto a couple of tablet computers. Another good item to use is the travel posters. I like that one. Um, this is handy if you're wanting to make one that looks like chalk writing or something. You could probably use fence posts, or depending on how thick you have this, you might could get away with using the very edges of the frost blocks, the snow blocks, no ice blocks. What are they called? Something along there. But yeah, you can see there's entrance here and over here. It's kind of like split into a diner slash. I wouldn't say it's a souvenir place. It looks like there's souvenirs, but there's also food and stuff. So I guess it's kind of a half and half. It reminds me of a truck stop because that's how they're usually split up. They have like the place where you can get, you know, a hot meal and some hot drinks and stuff. They also have a whole section where the truckers can get books and things like that. It's kind of what it reminds me of as a truck stop. So the shelving, those are just the Dominion bookshelves, oversized a bit so you don't see that pointed top and all of the purple. You mostly just see the gold and the blue shelves. These shelves here are, of course, the Winterfest ones, the Protostar shelves. using the posters as little magazines. Maybe they're comic books or something. Notice the floor. Now, I'm not for sure how they made the floor. I want to say it's either a giant, um, the back of the graded floor panel, or it's a giant travel poster. It just has that look, the metal shiny, but I think they're using one piece for the black squares, and then they've got individual foreign floors for the other squares to make that nice traditional diner checkered pattern. Hey, Mr. Flood, glad you could join. So back here we have the restrooms. The countertop sink part is just orange floors. Got the bathroom sink sunk in, and then some windows for the mirror. Same thing over here. I think it really is the mirror. The windows are doing double time. They're on both sides. Same way with this particular side ones. They're doing double time. It's actually just one piece for the whole shebang. Little private bench place. They're using the granite floor as like a little tablecloth kind of thing. Double medical tables. Remember the medical tables, there's two versions on the housing vendor. One is like 50 silver and the other one's like a couple of gold, I think. So make sure you go for the cheaper version. They're identical. Why there's two of them, I don't know. Is somebody messed up and left it or whatever, but just remember to always go for the cheaper one. See how they've done it different for each little table to make it just a little bit unique. So you pretend that some of these are, you know, ketchup, hot sauce, salt and pepper, sugar, who knows what. The countertop for the diner is, looks like exile walls and then 2x4s laid on top to actually behave as the counter. So you can see a little better. They've got this little outcropping for the dishes and stuff. Notice they've got the utensil holders. Those are just shrunk down exile floors made into like a little container. And they've put all the utensils, so forks, spoons, knives. This here is a couple of airtight containers. I believe this is the beer tap that they've snuck in here for the little controllers. And then one of those weird gooey things, the soul frost blobs stuck inside the curved glass. I guess it's to make it look like, I don't know, a slushy machine or some other kind of liquid thing. And then they've got all these cups here. Small cups, medium, large, extra large. This here, I thought this was a fun use of the Ichthyon. I can't remember the full name of it, but it's the one that's got like the fish bones in the little tubes, and they've just replaced it with beer cans and made it like a little beer dispenser. I thought this was pretty fun use of that item. So they just put the little mug there and fill up the beer. This is another kind of acute use of the what is it? The ship hand locker. making it like a coffee machine. The little spout is from the copper chewer sipper cup thingy. It's this here, right here. They're just using the spout. I like to use it for sinks and stuff like that as well. But yeah, I thought this was a fun idea. And over here, of course, we've got the I don't know if this is supposed to be like a display of food or if they're purposely, I don't know, milking the little cubics or something for some, I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. But this is, of course, the little countertop for the foods that they have. I assume this is supposed to be something kind of like maybe sauces or ice creams or soups. And then you have your sandwiches and salads over here. Now, the glass covers are actually those, it's the display cabinets, the ones with the, like, there's two different kinds, and one of them has like the skull and a scroll and something else, some stones or something. And it's just that they've sunk it down so they use just the glass topping. We've seen people use it as like for grandfather clock faces. Um, you just have to be able to hide the bottom part that you don't want. They're able to hide it in the countertop in this situation, but most often I see this used against a thick wall or the wall of a prefab home to again be used as displays for swords or special collected items like I don't know, plushies or something. Um, I've seen a few use it for like refrigerator type coverings, the grandfather clock, of course, and I'm sure there's some other bits. They're real good in museums. You know, if you're looking for different types of glass coverings. And we have the kitchen area. I'm not sure why there's tacos on the floor, but that's that. I like again how they're using the ship hand lockers, almost like cabinets. It looks like it's like a cabinet door. So they stuck it in that way. Countertops, this is just a regular bar. These are Orin floors. Now, this one, of course, since it hasn't been touched in a while, you don't really see example of it, but I imagine um, those of you that were here, I think it was last week, we saw one that they had recolored the meat so it didn't look raw. It looked a little bit more brown as if it had been cooked. The color shifting has opened up a lot of areas and to making things look a little different than they would originally. Like we saw the sandbags being turned from brown to green to make it look like little grass mounds and things like that. So while this particular plot doesn't really showcase the color feature, the color shifting feature, there's a lot of opportunity to use that for those that haven't tried it. There's a little outing. I don't know if this was maybe meant to be another garage area or was they were planning to turn it into some kind of a patio or what. The main construction of the building, though, since I didn't mention before, is mostly granite walls and Cassian pillars. You can see that the roofing is multiples of this graded floor panel. You can see how there's several layered in here. Um, two of pillars, there's some Orin floors, and I think even the flooring here is graded floor panel. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the black part of the checkered pattern is just one big one, and then they use the Orin floors to kind of patch that up. See, here's an empty room. I'm sure it's maybe it was going to be the owner's home and living space. Could be turned into an office, a back room for some gaming. A lot of possibilities. And then, of course, this leads you off to the bunker house itself. Again, this is pretty much empty. I'll go ahead and show you. You can see they had started some work, but it just never progressed past this for literally months. But I imagine someone could take this idea and all of the new building pieces that we have, the options of color shifting, and it really turned into something extra special. This one's special on its own, even if it's incomplete, but you know, there's always room. Even if someone tries a particular theme, don't feel discouraged and think, well, I can't do that because someone's already done it. I mean, think of how many bars we've seen, or how many clubhouses, or tree houses, or beach houses, that kind of thing. There's always something you can do different than the person that already did a similar theme did. And it's always fun to do that if that's what interests you. So if a diner and gas station is something you want to try, even though it's been done, go for it, because certainly you can improve upon what they've done here. So, okay, guys, I know it's kind of short, but my throat is really getting dry and scratchy, and I don't want to aggravate it more than I need to. So we're going to go ahead and close it off for today. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Again, we will be doing this every week, every Wednesday, hopefully from here on. In fact, I'm going to be taking a look at where we stand. Originally, we would be hitting our 100th housing tour episode. I guess it'd be next month, April. But because I've missed several weeks, it's kind of put us behind. So I'm going to do a kind of a cataloging of where we are, and see if I can get in touch with Carbine to maybe hook us up with some special swag that we can give away on the 100th episode one. But I'll let you guys know when that's actually going to land, and what our plans for that are. Probably a recap of some of our favorites from this last year, kind of like what we did the year before when we celebrated our 50th. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that, because it is coming up. It's just going to be running a little later since we missed some weeks. I'm having to catch up until then. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Keep up with the building. Again, if you have a plot that maybe needs a retour since you've revamped it, or I haven't toured yet and you feel like it deserves one, or you know of someone that has a home that fits that bill, please feel free to let me know. You can check the list. I keep a running list of all the places that we visited. It's slightly out of date. I haven't done the last couple of tours on there yet, but I'll add that sometime soon. But you can check that in the forums. It's in the Twitch, it's like the fan sites blog and all that kind of sub forum of the official forums. You can check a listing there, or you can just kind of go through individually, or just send a name. Even if you're fairly confident I've already hit it, I will check my own list and see if we've done it. And if we haven't, then I will add it to the queue. The queues are somewhat long. I've got at least a month or two backlog right now. But again, even if the houses have been on the list for a while, a lot of times I don't go I don't go down the list necessarily by when they're added to the list. I go by themes. If I have a lot of bar themes, I don't want to visit just bars every time, so I'll scatter them out. So I may have several bars lined up ready for viewing, but I will spread them out to mix up the different themes so we don't visit all the same stuff at the same time. The only exception to that is like Winterfest and Shades Eve and stuff. But yeah, so again, if you have any suggestions for plots to visit, doesn't matter faction, doesn't matter region, we hit them all in due time. So feel free to lend me out your suggestions. Again, we've got maintenance coming up this afternoon. 4 a.m. PDT, 1 p.m. CEST time. It's to last about 4 hours, so prepare yourselves, find something to look at, catch some old videos of ours if you want. And again, we added that new section, the Builders Wanted. It's a section for those that are looking for builders that are willing to take on commission work, or want to showcase some of their work on someone else's plot, in the case of like Blades' museum plot. So the links are there. You can get the extra information, or talk directly to the plot owner to find out what they're looking for. So yeah, thank you again, and hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.